Watch Transit TV right now.
Keep watching Transit TV.
I think that a little bit, but most of the time was isolated. So Arteta needs to find a way to kind of open up this philosophy, this style, encourage this player to take shots and find a way to make teams, open up a little bit, because you have the players like Gabriel Jesus, Odegaard, Etawaneri, Saka when he's fit, Martinelli. They have the pace, they have the trickery, but they need some space to get these things done. So Arteta needs to work on this. Maybe the way the players are positioned, if you tell Etawaneri and Transit TV, welcome back again. 1st of January 2025, Arsenal starts the calendar year with a win, another London Derby win. You remember they did not lose any London Derby game in 2024, and they continue with that record again this one today. And if you know, considering what Brentford have done this season so far, blowing away teams, especially at home. I think they've not lost at home this season. The only thing that to have not done that, it was only going to be a tricky one for Arsenal, and a lot of people felt that it was going to be a sticky one. And when the lineup came up, obviously with the lack of attacking options both on the bench and on the pitch for Arsenal, you wondered how they were going to get through with this one and scoring goals. And that was even made worse with Brentford going up early in the game. As an Arsenal fan, you look at the bench and you look on the pitch, it looked like this one was going to be a loss or at best a draw for Arsenal. And like I said, Arsenal, they have this record that 5 times they have gone behind this season. I think they have only won once. So when you see records like that, you wonder if this reform is going to continue in that way. And of course, it became a sticky one for Arsenal, but somehow they found a way and came through, even reducing Brentford to an ordinary team. One thing, again, before we go into what we learned in this one, I want to touch briefly on David Raya. He had made saves this season. He has kept Arsenal in games, but questions are going to begin to be asked about David Raya. I think he's becoming a little bit more complacent and not focused. The goal that Brentford scored today, not his fault, but David Raya that I know probably would have done something about that one. And again, almost considered a very, very shameful one just before Arsenal equalized their goal. But that's not the talking point today. I just wanted to keep an eye on that. David Raya, the last few games now, I've watched him keenly, and I think he's beginning to maybe concede some cheap goals that are not ordinarily goals that he usually concede. And looking into the form as well, like I said, coming to day one on paper, it looked like Brentford was going to be a strong opposition for Arsenal. But if you know the record between these two teams, Brentford has only won once the last 11 meetings with Arsenal. The last 5, they didn't even win any, 1 draw and 5 wins for Arsenal. So, and this is before this game, I was having a talk with Boom before the game, and I told him Arsenal was going to win because he was very, very scared about this one. I said, no, Brentford will always pose a threat to Arsenal, but somehow, I don't know how Arteta gets one over Thomas Frank all the way. So let's go quickly into few things and 5 things we learned in this one. First of all, Kai Havertz was not in the squad today, and Saka, of course, is injured. That one is no longer in news. So once these 2 people were not there, the first I noticed in this game today that Arsenal press was not systematic, was not effective. Brentford was able to, play through Arsenal from up there. They look disjointed. Odegaard and Jesus with Nathan Wanderlei coming in for Saka. The Arsenal usually have a systematic way they press. Kai Havertz being a very, very pivotal figure in that aspect of Arsenal game, not playing today, and Saka as well. So Brentford found joy in that. for the first 10, 15 to almost 20 minutes playing through Arsenal. Arsenal didn't know how to press. I can't remember what that stoppage was. Once that stoppage happened and the players went to Arteta and got some directives, Arsenal managed to shut that down. It was a worry for me in the beginning of this year. I was like, if this continues this way, it's going to be a problem for Arsenal to score because they couldn't press Brighton effectively from playing out from back. The second thing is that Brentford, they are an interesting team. They are a well-drilled team, and this game could have been a huge blow to Arsenal today if Arsenal was not one of the best in some of the business that they do. They are well drilled. They don't run into tackles. They know exactly how they play. They play low blocks for the most part and effectively deploy their counter attack. They scored goals over and over again this season, and they did that today against Arsenal as well. Got their goal and almost got the second one. And if that second one had gone in, I guarantee you there's no way Arsenal will have won this game today. At best, they will get a draw. So Brentford need to be taken seriously. Thomas Frank and that team, there are no noises around them. They just go about their business. This season, they have done very well and aiming to end up in the first half of the table. The next thing, that takes us into the next thing we learned in this one, Mikel Merino and Thomas Partey. I think Mikel Arteta should, not just we fans learn today, should have learned something today. You will argue that he brought in Merino. Obviously, he knows his qualities. But I think sometimes he has been sacrificed just too much. In the past few games now, if you remember, he has not really featured for us and comes in as a sub. Today again, and this is not because he scored a goal, but there is something about him that is effective when he plays. He has the intelligence to arrive in the box when he needs to. He has eye for goal and he takes shots. These are the things that are a little bit lacking in this Arsenal team. And in terms of duel and in defensive situations, he's also strong in them. So I know there are 4 players that are going for those positions: Merino, Partey, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. But there is something that even does again to even compound this problem. I don't understand how Merino will be fit and on the bench and Havertz starts again in the midfield. Today, Havertz was not on the pitch. I read somewhere, I can't remember what they said the issue was. He said he has a knock. I don't know if that's the reason, or maybe Arteta gave him a rest. I believe Arteta gave him a rest because he has been looking a bit leggy recently. Can you imagine if Havertz was available? I guarantee you that Arteta will start in place of Mikel Merino today. So I believe Arteta should have learned something today, that Merino is very, very effective. He can even talk about him keeping the Rice on the bench, but I don't understand how either of them will be on the bench for Kai Havertz in the midfield. I don't care who Arsenal is playing. Arteta should have learned that today. Between Merino and Thomas Partey, these 2 players are very, very important. Today, I know Partey has played so many games for Arsenal. This is in a very, very turn out good performances. But today looked to me like he was the best player on the pitch for Arsenal today. I know the match will not go to him because he did not score the goals. But if he looked very well, Partey was very effective, and he was taking shots. In fact, he was a shot that resulted to the first goal and could have given us another goal as well. Partey was very effective today. He won the balls up, tried to prevent Brentford from going on the counter and tried to take shots when he had the opportunity, even at a very minimal chance. So Partey and Merino have proven today, and not just today, so many times in the season, that both of them are very, very important to what Arsenal does going forward, especially in the midfield. Arteta should stop playing Kai Havertz ahead of Declan Rice or Mikel Merino in that midfield. Going into, and having said that, the 4th thing that we learned today is, yes, Arsenal has the habit. They are the expert in camping teams in their half. I think they have exceeded Manchester City in that regard. They will pass you to death. They will keep you in your half for sustained periods. But there is something wrong with that star. And I know that every philosophy has its own deficiency. The deficiency with that is they need to take more shots. Arsenal, when you play Liverpool, when you watch Liverpool play, or even Chelsea, they have a way of using the length and breadth of the pitch and opening up things, and so that players can have spaces to run. The problem with the way Arsenal plays is that they make it difficult for even themselves, because it's easy for teams to cluster their 18-yard box, and it's now difficult to pass through. Yes, other guys sometimes can get those passes through the eye of a needle, but it's not always effective. And this is what we saw today in the first half of this game, until Arsenal got their goal. That Brentford didn't have really much problem defending Arsenal, because it was all systematic, very close, and nobody was taking shots. People were not running at players. Waneri tried to do that a little bit, but most of the time was isolated. So Arteta needs to find a way to kind of open up this philosophy, this style, encourage this player to take shots, and find a way to make teams open up a little bit, because you have the players like Gabriel Jesus, Odegaard, Etawaneri, Saka when he's fit, Martinelli. They have the pace, they have the trickery, but they need some space to get these things done. So Arteta needs to work on this. Maybe the way the players are positioned, if you tell Etawaneri and Martinelli to stay wide, it attracts attention. But the way Arsenal plays makes it very difficult for there to be space, the opponents, and they struggle with that today. And if they have to play that way, then the passes need to be quicker. Today was a little bit better than what we saw against Ipswich, but it needs to be a little bit faster. And I think the team is too drilled to think defensively. That's most of the time they play with the handbrake. And but once Brentford got that goal, of course they knew that they had no choice than to get the goal and get going. And today, Gabriel Jesus again scoring another goal, 6 goals now in 4 games, is not something. I think he's beginning to come into it. And like I said in the last video, that Jesus, the reason why he's scoring these goals, that you can see that his body language, his head, his eyes is on goals. He's not going to just try to defend and dribble past players. He's trying to get the goals now, and it's beginning to fall in place for him. And the last thing that we learned today, if you don't know this already, I think Arsenal is the best in the business of locking shot. Once they went ahead 2-1, 3-1, you could see that there was no way Brentford was going to come back in this one. Arsenal knows how to lock shot. They're not ashamed to do it. Arteta is not ashamed to do it. Many will say Brentford is where you're playing defensive. He made a lot of defensive substitutions, gave players rest, and shot sharp. And it didn't look like Brentford in any way was going to come back in this one. Arteta, when it comes to shooting sharp, be you Liverpool, Manchester City, whoever you are, if Arsenal goes up and decides to shot sharp, I don't think any team in the league does that better than Arsenal. I don't care who you are. And yeah, that's what we learned from this one today. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not done so. If you're new to this channel, like and share this video. And this year starts in a good way for Arsenal. And it promises to be a very intriguing second half of the season for both Arsenal fans and the league in particular. Liverpool, is not looking bad. But we'll see how that goes in this second half of the season. And I'll see you again in the next one. Ciao.